The best part of my job is to wake up every single morning and say, hey, like today, I have the opportunity to help the 18 million employees that we pay live a better life. If we're able to help them worry less about money, not only will they be happy, but also their employers will also be happy as well. And really, that's going to help the bottom line of a small business.
Hi, I'm Alex Kostecki, co-founder and president of Clair. I'm thrilled to have Kelvin Li with us today. Kelvin, so great to have you here. Why don't you give a quick introduction of what you do at Intuit?
Thanks for having me, Alex. Really appreciate being here. So I currently lead several product and business lines at Intuit QuickBooks. So within QuickBooks, I lead QuickBooks Time, as well as Workforce, which is our all-in-one employee app that serves employees working at small businesses, as well as direct-to-employee benefits such as earned wage access, health, retirement, and more.
One thing that's really cool with your background, specifically in the HR tech space, is that you actually came from fintech. Maybe you could tell us a little bit the story about what you've been doing in your product career and what ultimately led you to the role you have today.
Yeah, so prior to joining Intuit, I've worked at several fintechs for the past 7 years, from SaaS companies that offer services to banks and credit unions like loan origination software, to really like being in a fintech where we stood up our own bank charter and our own mobile app. That landed me a position at Intuit about 4 years ago. And I was really interested in the space of payroll, right? Because if you look at all the fintechs out there, all the banks, all the challenger banks that are really competing for share of wallets, like this is where payroll comes in. And payroll is the source of funds for millions of Americans around. We actually pay 18 million employees every single year, right? And so we're basically at the source of funds, and we're the livelihood of so many Americans, so many hardworking Americans that are looking forward to their paycheck, whether it's every Friday, every other Friday, every month. We're going to be there for them.
Let's just spend a second on the time that you spent at Varo and sort of how that introduced you to the problems of cash flow and the importance of on-demand pay. Like, what did you see when you guys were working on that over there?
I really think product is a special role in the industry simply because you get to be so close to the customer, and the customer problems that you see could really motivate you to develop products and services that really make a difference in people's lives, right? And I think what really resonated for me, and there's a pivotal change in my career at Varo, where I realized that the customer problem that I'm working on was actually very relevant to me. I grew up in El Monte, California, which is 10 miles east of Los Angeles. I was raised by immigrant parents who owned a small business themselves, and cash flow was tight. They had to work nights and days and basically 6 to 7 days every single week. And I was sometimes there. I was there at the shop, and I quickly realized the value of money. And I quickly realized that for these people that are living paycheck to paycheck out there, that there is a significant, cash flow crunch that they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And so, looking into that area, we quickly realized that, hey, problem number one to be solved is like making sure that people can actually make it to the next paycheck, right? The idea that like you're stressing out about bills and when, paycheck and bills don't align, like that part we want to absolutely remove for, anybody that's facing that challenge. On top of that, how do you build financial footprint? How do you build like financial resilience for these people that are living paycheck to paycheck? So I truly believe that managing short-term cash flow was the first problem to be solved. The second problem would then be, how do we get these people out of the situation that they're in and help them build an emergency savings, help them build credit, help them build like a livelihood, maybe even safer retirement, so that they can actually think about the future and not think about the present. I quickly realized how expensive it is to be poor in America, and so that really motivated me to really think about this problem space, figure out how do we find the right solutions, and being able to relate to this personally really helped me kind of like shape my career.
So let's talk about that transition from Varo, a fintech trying to offer access to better liquidity to consumers, to now moving to Intuit, which is on the QuickBooks side, primarily a B2B player that is helping small to medium companies do their accounting, run their payroll. You obviously have this background of fintech. How did you think about this next role and the opportunities that this gave you from the fintech side?
When we think about payroll and when we think about all the things that QuickBooks offers, right? Primarily QuickBooks exists to solve the cash flow crunch of small businesses. Like we want to be the platform that helps small businesses grow and be profitable 2 times more than if they did not use QuickBooks at all. And within Workforce Solutions, we really have 2 value props, which is one, how do we help employers manage their employees? But also, we want to be able to provide these employees with tools that help them do their best work, right? Like we're really empowering the front line to serve the bottom line of the businesses. And then on top of that, this is where kind of like the employee space kicks in, right? There's this like segment of an audience that we call like the employee, where they're working at, these small businesses that uses QuickBooks. And not only are they looking for tools to make their work easier, but they're also looking for tools that, after they clock out, they can actually use to empower their financial well-being. And so when we started investing in the space of the employees, we quickly realized, wow, this customer problem that we need to solve is very similar to, the hardworking Americans that are out there living paycheck to paycheck, looking to maximize their cash flow every single day.
So your view, to read that back to you, is that you guys have been servicing your ICP, your ideal customer has been these small to medium businesses.
Right.
And now in sort of starting to explore these other employee or consumer products, you're kind of turning the page and finding this whole underpenetrated market that you guys feel has a ton of potential.
Exactly. We actually ran a study back in 2021 where we found that about 75% of our employees make less than 50K a year. And about 58% of them actually live paycheck to paycheck. Every single year, we look at these employees that are using our apps and services, and you'd be surprised. People, when they see a paycheck notification email pop into their phone, they immediately click it. For the hourly workers, the majority of whom are working in our small businesses, they actually need to make sure that their hours are correct, but also they need to calculate how much they've earned so they can properly afford bills and rent next month. That's how dire the situation is.
Right.
And that's how important a single paycheck is to the employees that we serve.
And that predictability as well.
Right, exactly.
The idea of being able to know you can cover bills even if there were fewer shifts up for grabs, et cetera.
Exactly.
So you guys went out essentially to look for a partner. That's ultimately when we ended up working together. Tell us a little bit about, if you could describe a little bit about how the launch went from when we first started working on this, I think January 2025, and where we are today.
January 2025, when you guys came into the office, I was super impressed. Of course, like we have to do our due diligence, right? Like as with any partners, we have to go through a rigorous partner selection criteria. But you flew everybody to Mountain View, like cross country. I think there was like 10 people coming in, and you had like a 10-pager on all the detailed requirements that we're looking for. But also, we're looking for partners that are very aligned to our Intuit mission and vision. We're looking for partners that have really good people and product. Do we believe that the people in this company is going to bring about a change or a benefit to us that we cannot provide ourselves, right? And then when we think about the product, look, we have so many apps on our phones these days, and there's just no reason to download another app just to get something like as simple as a cash advance, right? And so, what sold us about Clair was that you are all able to embed a financial service inside of an app that our employees use already to clock in, to post project updates, to see their pay stubs, to see their documents. And that really allowed us to focus on, hey, if this experience is already in the app, it opens up the possibility for more, right? There's no separate app download required. There is nothing that the employee needs to do besides, hey, go through the flow and take out what they need. And repayment is automatic and simple. We love that aspect of the partnership because it really solidifies like our all-in-one strategy within QuickBooks, right?
Yeah.
We want our employees and our businesses to be using QuickBooks as their all-in-one solution.
So fast forwarding a year, which is crazy to me that it's been over a year now that we had that meeting in Mountain View with the team. We've obviously scaled on-demand pay really successfully. I think we're seeing just out of people who see this feature in the first place, almost 20% of them are creating an account, engaging with the feature, et cetera. The other thing that really stands out to me is how that has led both Clair and Intuit to collectively think about the strategy and how sort of the future changes in light of this success and in light of the really strong customer sentiment that we got with this feature. Tell me a bit about, how you guys are seeing the next couple years after having seen this product launch and what happened there.
Look, this is just the beginning. When we think about how we best serve the employees that are working at small businesses, we really are looking at two aspects. So we'd like to call the first aspect productivity. We are trying to empower the front line with as many advanced tools as they can get access to really help the business's bottom line. Tools like time tracking, scheduling, project management. These are the things that business owners want for their employees and want for their employees to use so that it makes their work easier. And then the second part, which is what we call our prosperity pillar. This is now a new pillar that we're digging into simply because, we've seen really awesome success with earned wage access, but there's so much more to be done here. Intuit is a huge company that not only produces small business services, but also produces things like tax preparation software, right? TurboTax. That's really important, right? Because Intuit has a differentiated stake here in the market where we help you get your biggest paycheck of the year, which is your tax refund. We empower you with insights on your credit score with Credit Karma. There's even Credit Karma Money where employees can go in and save up for a rainy day or maybe even build credit with every single paycheck. And so as we think about expanding financial services to employees, and this is where I'm really passionate because again, like my entire career has been built on, fintech, but also now I'm in this like HR tech space hybrid. What really excites me is just the amount of possibilities that we can offer to employees. So we think about retirement packages, right? 401k, IRAs. We think about helping employees get instant access to their paper checks because we are the payroll providers, right? Earned wage access is just the beginning.
Right.
Really, for us, it's really about how do we help employees at every stage of their financial progress, whether it's, hey, I'm living paycheck to paycheck at the moment, but in the future, I want to be able to build enough credit to take out a personal loan, maybe buy a house. And, we really want to be there for our employees when they go through this financial journey. And we're just beginning.
You guys are running payroll for 15 million people, which is basically like every working adult in France or something like that. It is like a huge amount of people.
Yeah. If you look at the US labor force, I think we pay about 1 in 12 working Americans.
Right. A massive amount of people.
Right.
You guys have just started down this road of looking at that group as an audience that you can offer products to. You've also realized that through paying them, you have a distinct advantage against fintechs to offer a really, really powerful service there. Are you hiring anybody on your team right now to help you do this?
Yeah. So if anyone's interested, and if anyone's interested, we are hiring, and we would love, if you're a PM or an engineer or a designer, particularly we're looking for product managers that is passionate about the space, that is, keen about owning a line of business. We're really looking for a product manager that can not only understand this amazing partnership that we have, but also take it to the next level, right? Like we've gotten EWA out from 0 to 1. We're in this like 1 to 10 phase. We're going to be soon like taking this product from 10 to 100, and we need a PM that can scale that growth, but also be responsible and accountable for the business line at the end of the day, right? And I think that's the beauty of product management in our org, which is marrying not only the customer problem that we're solving, but also ensuring that we have the right business outcomes when we solve these customer problems.
Yeah, really interesting. Okay, you guys have been doing a really good job at staying on top of how agentic solutions are interacting with Intuit's products. We talked about Paycheck Agent, and there's been a bunch of cool releases, I think, on the SMB side.
Right.
It's also really shaking up the world of product development. I think you and I have both seen that, and even in working together. How have you guys taken a couple tactical steps to bring that into your product development process? What could a PM look forward to if they were to join Intuit on that front?
I think I send more text messages or messages to ChatGPT than I do to my loved ones in a given day. I mean, this is the world that we live in, right? You're using AI to help you not only make decisions, but also create materials. And Intuit's in a really fortunate position where we can enable tools like Claude, Cursor for anybody that's interested, right? So no matter if you're a PM or a designer or a marketer, you can get access to these AI generative tools that helps you build not only decks, even helps you like, merge a PR if you wanted to. We have
Right.
had several PMs merging PRs lately, which is great. But also like, create, right? And these are the things that historically took up a lot of time from a person's day, but now AI can maybe get you 20% of the way there, right? And in the future, I have no doubt that's going to get you like 50% or 70% of the way there. And so as we think about like increasing productivity at Intuit with AI, we're really focused on like, how do we 3x ourselves? And at the end of the day, not only are we looking at tools that help us accelerate our own productivity, but we're also looking at AI tools that could benefit our customers. So, imagine an AI tool for our employees where the AI agent could help them clock in and clock out, right? They can help them manage their shifts. They can help them provide progress updates to their project leads or project managers. And then after they clock out, the AI agent can say, hey, you've earned $800 for the day. Would you like to advance some of that, right? The possibilities are endless. And we know that as the age demographic skews towards the younger crowds that we're talking about, Gen Z, moving from millennials to Gen Z to now Gen Alpha, these populations are more well-versed and adapted to using AI. And AI is going to become an expectation, not like a wish list, right? And so really for us, what we think we can differentiate is how do we increase our own productivity with AI, but also how do we offer AI solutions to our employees that makes their work easier, but also makes their financial life much easier.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed with folks on your team actually getting upskilled through the process of working at Intuit on how to use AI through the product development process, which has been really cool to watch. Last question. What is a next step or next product that you're excited for us to be building together?
I think the way that we've been seeing this product evolve is, look, we're now able to help our employees bridge income gaps between paychecks. You and I are both hearing from customers who are using this product that like it's helped them pay for a baby's medical bill. It's helped them pay for like a flat tire, right? And these are the stories that I hear that keeps me really motivated in figuring out how can we do better? How can we offer more? We ran a study, again, like 2 years ago, where the average FICO score for these employees was around 619, right? And that could be considered subprime. And with a subprime credit score, it's going to be really difficult for you to access loans that are of low interest, right? And you'd be charged with astronomical fees, but also astronomical interest. And like if you're if you're a low to middle class working American, and you're thinking to yourself, "Gosh, like." I really need a new car. I'm not looking for much. I just need $2,000 for this, to buy like a car off of CarMax or CarGuru, right? How do I get that money if I don't have it right now? Because without a car, I can't get to work. And so really when we think about like these customer problems, it becomes more of a long-term solution and something that, when you build credit over time, you get access to financial benefits such as like lower APRs on loans that really helps you make the most of your money, right? And what excites me about the next product that we want to build together is exactly that. It's about helping our employees build credit with every single paycheck.
Backed by their paycheck.
Backed by their paycheck.
Right.
Yes.
I'm also very excited about that one.
Yeah. That is going to dramatically change the game because you have basically insight into how much this employee is earning, right? Whereas at traditional banks and lenders, they can only guesstimate based off of your last one paycheck or two paychecks and maybe like the incoming deposits going to your account. But we have all that data, historical data with us. And so with this data, it's very powerful for us to help our employees get more financial services to better their well-being.
Couldn't agree more. Really excited about that too. I think that is the undersold part of essentially building fintech with payroll products is people don't really understand how little financial services companies actually know about you, right? Your bank, your credit card company, they're going to guess based on like maybe your cash flow they're seeing through like Plaid or your FICO score.
Right.
The best they can do. Whereas you guys know how long you've had a job, whether you've been promoted, whether you've had any raises, whether you're on vacation, what is your gross, what is your net? Are you contributing to a 401k? What are the unpaid wages, which is the part that we're using now, right? I think like that's what really, really excites me and what we're going to keep building together is like, yeah, moving through the customer journey, getting someone to build credit is that next step and really getting them in a position where they're sort of masters of their liquidity even more. And then ultimately getting them to save more, getting them to like treat a promotion or a raise in the best way for them to be able to save long term. These are the kinds of things that we'll be able to do together that basically nobody else can.
This is the best part about my job, right?
Mhm.
The best part of my job is to wake up every single morning and say, hey, like today I have the opportunity to help the 18 million employees that we pay live a better life.
Right.
If we're able to help them worry less about money, not only will they be happy, but also their employers will also be happy as well, right? Because employees then spend more time focusing on the actual work at hand. And so then we could see retention rates go up, we can see employee productivity go up. And really that's going to help the bottom line of a small business.
Yeah. Thanks, Kelvin. I think that's a wrap for today. Maybe last quick fire question is what's your favorite coffee shop next to the office that you'll have a coffee with your next recruits on?
So there's this place called Paper and Sun Coffee, and I'm a really big fan of light roast coffees, like that have like fruity profiles.
Yeah.
And so that's been my go-to spot. My favorite drink is like an espresso tonic. I know it sounds so like
I had it with you. It was good.
But you know, to be honest, like I am also learning a lot about coffee culture.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thank you, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. And, really appreciate the partnership so far. This is not only game changing, but it's also life changing for many Americans.